Since the end of World War II and the downfall of Hitler and the Nazis, one of America's most loyal allies has been Germany, which is still home to the biggest US Army contingent in Europe. And so, US President Trump's decision to pull out 9,500 US troops out of Germany by September was a surprise for many, including German Chancellor Angela Merkel. But trouble has been brewing between the two for years now, with them clashing on issues such as defense spending, Iran, Huawei and Russia. Trump's decision came without warning, with German officials declining to officially comment on the troop withdrawal. Now, the US contingent will be dropping from 34,500 personnel to 25,000. Trump has berated his European allies for years about their contribution to NATO.
Paying what they should be paying. They're paying close to 1%, and they're supposed to be paying 2%. And the United States, over the years, got to a point where it's paying 4.3%, which is very unfair.
The US president has directly stated in December that Germany and others would have to allocate 2% of gross domestic product on their military. But Germany had said that it would not meet that requirement until 2031, due to a lack of military personnel. Meanwhile, German Chancellor Angela Merkel decided to stay away from a G7 meeting planned by Trump this month, exacerbating a developing rift between the two nations' leadership. Iran is another sticking point between the two powers. At the end of last year, the US had officially requested Germany to take part in the US-led mission to secure oil tanker ships in the Strait of Hormuz near Iran. But Germany declined, with Foreign Minister Maas stating that exercising, quote, maximum pressure on Iran is wrong, and that Germany is seeking a diplomatic, not a military solution. These statements provoked the ire of US officials, such as US Ambassador to Germany, Richard Grenell, who blasted his host by saying, quote, Germany is the biggest economic power in Europe. This success brings global responsibilities. America has sacrificed a lot to help Germany remain part of the West. This was not the first time the US ambassador had made his discontent known, in a new era of combative, critical, and non-cooperative diplomatic relations, where it seems Europe and the US are no longer on the same page. Grenell recently resigned his post, becoming the US's acting director of national intelligence. The US has also slapped sanctions on a joint Germany-Russia energy project. The sanctions target firms building Nord Stream 2, an undersea pipeline that will allow Russia to increase gas exports to Germany. Now, the US has called the project a, quote, tool of coercion and an attempt by Russia to hold Germany hostage. The US fears Europe's increasing reliance on Russian gas and sees the project as a security risk. The almost $11 billion Nord Stream 2 project could also reduce the US share of the lucrative European market for American liquefied natural gas, another major strike for the US. German Finance Minister Olaf Scholz responded by saying on national television that the sanctions were an infringement of sovereignty. And it seems that both Russia and Germany will stand behind their respective companies' rights to carry out the project. Russia already supplies 40% of the EU's gas needs, and the new pipeline will increase the amount of gas going under the Baltic to 55 billion cubic meters per year. The US has also been pushing its European partners to ban Huawei from setting up 5G networks across the EU. But Germany has not exactly followed through. Merkel has opposed any attempt to single out the Chinese telecoms equipment maker. The US has long argued that Huawei poses a spying risk as an arm of the Chinese state, an accusation denied by Huawei, who say they are a private group. Now, the German intelligence chief has himself admitted that the company cannot be trusted, yet there has been no ban enforced. And so, the America First anthem is not a popular one for German leadership, which is now not shying away from following its own foreign policy initiatives and exercising its own sovereign power, away from Washington-bound threats. So will the relationship keep deteriorating? And what does that mean for the future of NATO and the EU-US strategic partnership?